Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we will be presenting on the topic Social Security Protection under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991. So let me introduce myself. I, Nur Izani Putri binti Muhammad Zaidin, and my friends Nur Ala Farhana binti Hazari, Nur Kadatul Anissa binti Arwansyah, and Adam Haris bin Zaharuddin. So each of us will discuss a different aspect of this topic to give a clear and comprehensive understanding of how the EPF Act safeguards employees' financial future.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Adam Haris bin Zaharuddin. I will answer question number 1, which is the purpose of the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991. The Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 was introduced to provide social security protection for employees, particularly by ensuring financial security after retirement. This is achieved through a compulsory savings system where both employers and employees are required to make regular monthly contribution to the EPF. Currently, the EPF covers more than 16 million members with total saving exceeding 1 trillion ringgit, showing that the Act plays a significant role as Malaysia's main retirement protection mechanism. In addition to retirement saving, the Act also allows control withdrawal for essential needs such as housing, education, medical expenses, and in case of disability or death. Overall, the purpose of this law is to promote long stability among employees and to reduce dependence on government assistance during old
Next, I will explain the employees who are covered under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991. Under the Employee Provident Fund Act 1991, EPF provides social security protection to employees by requiring saving for retirement. The following category of employees are covered under the Act is, the first one is Malaysian employees. All Malaysian citizens working under a contract of service are covered by the Act. These include employees who are part-time, full-time, permanent or temporary, and on probation. As long as the employees receive wages, EPF contribution is compulsory. For example, a Malaysian employee working in private company must contribute to EPF. The second one is private sector employees. Employees working in the private sector, such as manufacturing, service, retail, and construction, are covered under the Act. Employers are legally required to register their employees with EPF and make monthly contribution. Next, the apprentices and trainees. Apprentices and trainees who are paid and work under a contract of service are also considered as employees under the Act and are required to contribute to EPF. The last one is foreign employee. Generally, EPF contribution for foreign employees is not compulsory. However, there are certain cases where EPF contribution become mandatory. The first case is foreign employee with permanent residence status. If a foreign employee holds permanent residence status in Malaysia, the employee is treated as a local employee. EPF contribution is compulsory for them, and the employer must contribute to EPF. For example, a foreign employee with Malaysian permanent resident working in private company must contribute to EPF. The second case is foreign employee who voluntarily chooses to contribute. If a foreign employee chooses to contribute to EPF voluntarily, the employer is required to contribute together, and contributions are made according to EPF regulation. For example, a foreign worker agreed to contribute to EPF for retirement saving. Therefore, the employer must also make EPF contribution. So, who are the employees not covered under the Act? The first one is self-employment individuals, freelancer, and independent contractor are not covered unless they contribute voluntarily. To conclude, the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 covers Malaysian employees in the private sector, including paid trainings and employees receiving wages. Although EPF contribution for foreign workers is generally not compulsory, It's become mandatory for those with permanent residence status or those who voluntarily chooses to contribute.
Next, I will explain the employer's legal obligations under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991. Under this law, employers in Malaysia have a legal responsibility to ensure that employees' retirement savings are properly managed through the Employees Provident Fund or EPF, which is administered by KWSP. Firstly, employers are required to register with the EPF board within 7 days of hiring their first employee. This registration is compulsory and allows the employer to legally participate in the EPF scheme. Secondly, employer must register all eligible employees as EPF members. This applies to employees working under a contract of service or apprenticeship so that EPF contributions can be made on their behalf. Thirdly, employers must remit EPF contribution on a monthly basis. This includes both the employer's contribution and the employee's contribution, which is deducted from the employee's wages. According to Section 45 of the EPF Act 1991, the employer is fully responsible for paying all contribution to the EPF, even the employee's share. In addition, employers are required to provide wage statement to employees. This statement shows that employees' salary and the amount of EPF contributions, ensuring transparency and accountability. Employers are also legally required to keep proper record of wages and EPF contributions. This record must be accurate and available for inspection by the EPF authorities when necessary. Furthermore, employer must inform the EPF board of any important changes such as changes in employees' details, termination of employment, or situation where the employer is no longer required to make EPF contributions. Lastly, while employers are allowed to deduct the employee's share to EPF contributions from wages, this deduction must only be made at the time wages are paid and must be fully remitted to the EPF board. Failure to do so is considered an offence under the law. In conclusions, the EPF Act 1991 clearly outlines the employer's legal obligation to protect employees' retirement savings. Employers who fail to comply with these obligations may face penalties, including fines and imprisonment.
Under the Employee Provident Fund Act 1991, the Employee Provident Fund or EPF provide a comprehensive range of benefit and savings scheme designed to safeguard the financial well-being of contributors throughout their working life and after retirement. The EPF savings are structured into three main accounts. Account 1, known as the retirement account, is the primary saving account for long-term retirement, where withdrawal are allowed only when member reach the age of 55 or 60, ensuring the employee have sufficient funds to maintain their financial security after leaving the workforce. Account 2, the Sejahtera account, allowed for pre-retirement withdrawal for essential life needs such as purchasing a home, repaying housing loan, paying for education, covering medical expenses, or obtaining insurance protection. This account help members manage important expenses while still preserving their retirement savings. Account 3, called the Flexible Account, provide additional flexibility for short-term financial need, allowing members to withdraw a minimum of RM50, which ensure that contributor can address urgent financial situation without significantly affecting their long-term retirement fund. In addition to this account, the EPF provides a specific retirement benefit. Members can make partial or full withdrawal at age 55, while full withdrawal are permitted at age 60, and they also have the option to receive their savings as monthly income after retirement. Before retirement, the EPF also offers protection in case of disability or incapacitation, allowing members with permanent disabilities to withdraw their savings and receive additional financial assistance if they are unable to continue working. Similarly, in the event of contributor death, EPF savings are paid to nominated beneficiaries, ensuring that dependents are financially protected. The EPF also emphasized growth for saving through investment in diversified and Sharia-compliant instruments with annual dividend credited directly to members' account. This dividend help protect against inflation and increase retirement fund over time. Furthermore, voluntary contribution schemes such as HRM and HRM Plus are available for self-employed, gig and informal workers, offering government matching incentive of up to 500 to 600 ringgit, encouraging additional contribution and enhancing overall retirement security. Overall, these benefits and schemes work together to provide comprehensive financial protection for employees, ensuring that contributors are supported both during their working life and in retirement, fulfilling the purpose of the EPF Act of 1991. The Employee Provident Fund Act 1991 achieved its purpose to a considerable extent by ensuring that employees accumulate retirement savings in a structured and disciplined manner through mandatory contribution from both employers and employees. Control pre-retirement withdrawal for essential needs such as housing, education, medical expenses, and insurance allow members to address major life expenses while still preserving their retirement fund. Data show that about 42% of older members aged 51 to 55 have reached the basic saving target, demonstrating that the system effectively supports those nearing retirement. Among active contributors aged 18 to 55, approximately 38.8% have achieved the age-based saving benchmark, indicating gradual improvement in retirement readiness over time. Additionally, professionally managed investment with annual dividend help saving grow and protect against inflation, which contributes to long-term financial stability and reduce dependence on government assistance after retirement.
Despite this time, the law does not fully achieve its purpose for all workers. Employees in the informal sector, gig economy and self-employed group are not comprehensively covered under mandatory contribution requirement, limiting social security protection. Moreover, younger and low-income members face difficulties in accumulating sufficient saving. For instance, only 36.2% of active members aged 18 to 55 meet the basic saving target, while among all contributors including inactive members, only 23.9% reach the required benchmark. Frequently, early withdrawal for short-term needs can further reduce long-term retirement adequacy. This gap shows that while the EPF provides a strong framework, many contributors are still at risk of not achieving adequate financial security upon retirement. In conclusion, the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 is largely effective in achieving its intended purpose for former sector employees. It provides structured saving, control withdrawal option, and investment growth, which together support financial security during and after employment. However, the Act effectiveness is limited for certain groups, including younger, low-income and informal sector workers, indicating that it achieves its purpose to a considerable but not complete extent. Continued efforts such as encouraging voluntary contribution and improving financial literacy may help bridge this gap and enhance retirement readiness for contributors.